everyone, and welcome to a new project, or rather I should say a prologue of a new project, a project before the actual new project starts. And I realize I'm not making any sense, let me just explain further what I mean. So this over here is a recreation of the Groote Schuur Zoo in Cape Town. So the zoo is it's a zoo that opened in the 1930s and shut down in the 1970s. And if you've been with my channel for a while, you've probably heard me mention it in my Clayton Zoo series. I've used it for a bit of reference stuff. But yeah, now I've actually came and recreated most of it in its ruined state. Of course, as you could probably tell by the title, I'm going to be building the iconic lion structure that exists in the zoo. If you just if you go on Google Images and search Groote Schuur Zoo, 80% of the pictures you'll find will be of this lion exhibit, which I'll go through the whole process of me building in a bit. Yeah, the reason why I said this is a prologue to another project is that I'm going to start a new series on the channel, which I'll explain more once the series starts, but essentially I'm going to build a new zoo over the ruins of this zoo right here. So yeah, for the past few weeks I've been going at it, building all of this stuff. Today I'm going to finally get this line structure done and you can see me build the process. I think at the end of the video I'll have timestamps up so you can see where the different segments are, but right at the end I'll go through all the stuff I've built as well as the line exhibit. So if you just want to skip forward to that, you can. And yeah, so this is what I have so far. I think I'll hop into Google Earth in a bit just so you can see what the rest of the actual area looks like in real life. And you will know what to expect in the future of this project once I carry on with it. Okay, so this is the Groote Schuur Zoo as it sits today. So it's on the foothills of Table Mountain National Park, so you can see this is Devil's Peak over here on the right, and that's the main Table Mountain. I can just, there we go. See, there's Table Mountain, and I think Lion's Head is that hill over there. But anyway, yeah, right at the bottom of Table Mountain, that's where this zoo sits. So it's technically in Table Mountain National Park, and I'll be building a zoo on this side. And yeah, it's on the what direction is this? I don't know. Northeast of the Groote Schuur Zoo, we have the University of Cape Town. So yeah, I'm not going to build the entire university, but I'll build a few buildings just so we get a proper backdrop. Include these trees here at the bottom. Need to finish up this road. I haven't done all of this because if I did take the time to take all of this, it's going to be another 3 months before the episode actually comes out. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of building backdrops for zoos. That's what I've been doing in Clayton Zoo for the past 3 months, and I just want to get in, build some actual zoo stuff for once. Which is why I'm fine with everything I have currently built on the site, and I'm just gonna build the lion exhibit, which is this over here, and get on with the project. And so yeah, I still need to also build up these hills here, so I'm hoping the project will eventually start in this small space, expand this area, and I want it to also go over the street and I can build some stuff here. Another thing I also want to add in the future is this is the Rhodes Memorial. I'll bring up a better picture on screen now because this is very blurry. And I'll build that as well, although I'm gonna have to compress the university a bit so I can actually put in the Rhodes Memorial, but I do want the memorial site on this map. And maybe the zoo will actually link up to it if I build all across here. But yeah, but for now, I am going in and recreating this lion exhibit. So yeah, hopefully I can give you some tips and tricks on how to build in this game. So when you're recreating something, I think something is really useful with Google Earth is a really good tool. Because one, I'll show you in the map actually now, is that you can check actual altitudes. If you look here on the side, you have elevation. You can see in the map I try to keep elevation realistic. So if you look here at the waterfowl exhibit, this is 94, and if we go up to the lions, I can see that at the base here it's 104, so that's 10 meters up higher. Then I go to these cages at the back and I can see that it's about 107 just looking at that corner. Yeah, and by using that I can get realistic elevation changes for the recreation here. And then another useful tool is the ruler tool. Okay, so I just had to change my settings so you can actually see what tools I'm using here. But if you go up here, you have a show ruler and you have the ruler tool, which is actually really useful for doing recreation. So you click on one point and you click on another, and that gives you a length. So for this line exhibit, I can determine the different lengths of all the different things I'm interested in. So this entire thing is about 24 meters, which is nice. You can see the map length and the ground length. Then I can determine the length of an individual cage, going like that. And be like, okay, cool, that's about 8 meters. This point here is about 7 meters. And you can use that in your recreations. Unfortunately, it doesn't help you with this indoor, like this underground bit. It's not going to help me, but I do have some blueprints I found on the internet, so I'm going to use those. And yeah, just using this map measurement tool will help me make sure I'm doing this recreation right, having all the lengths and that match up to what it is IRL. Not 100%, but it'll give or take, it'll match the actual dimensions. So anyway, let me crack on recreating this line exhibit. I think I'll start with the cages here in the back. And the way I do this kind of video is that it'll be progress update. So 1 minute you'll see I'll have it like the format laid out with plaster pieces, and next thing a bit of it will be built, and I'll explain how to do that. And bit by bit I'll progress update by progress update. I'll show you how I build stuff, and yeah. Okay, so some work has been done over here on the back side of the exhibit. I think I'll put a picture on screen now to show you like my exact reference for this thing, and you can compare it, see how well I recreated it. But anyway, let me break down what I did here. So starting from the top, we got this netting there. So normally when making netting, what I would use is this lattice piece, because it like has this nice thin lines, and you put them together, it looks like a grid, and it comes up as netting. But I've been watching quite a bit of Just Goron, and so now I'm diving into the font pieces a little bit more than I did previously. So these are all E's up here, and I think it works quite well for the netting. Actually, it's not as thin as the lattice piece, but it is a flexi color. So as a lattice piece, you're always stuck with this light brown color. Here I can actually recolor it, so it looks like this nice mesh, this green netting / mesh thing that covers the thing IRL. So yeah, I think that's cool. So in the future, I'm going to try and use these font pieces a bit more, maybe, to make netting. And also with this thing is a bit more flexible, so like if I want a hole in this thing, then I can just boom, there's like a hole in the net for some reasons. Or yeah, if you want to try that out, you can. I don't think I have enough patience to make like a whole droopy netting thing like it is IRL, but yeah. Next up, we go to these bars. So I know a lot of people don't really make exhibits with bars, but it can still be useful for backstage stuff where the guests don't see, and then also historic buildings. I've used bars like this a lot in historic buildings, but essentially these let me take out a section here to show you what it's made out of. It's made out of these what you call them, New World Sign Support Post Double. Now you've probably seen me, if you watched Clayton Zoo, you've seen me use these. And yeah, it acts as a really nice bar thing. I could have used this New World Thin Plank. The problem with this is that, one, it's climbable, so which means that it generates lag, and also if I want to put an animal in here, the animal could potentially climb it and escape. So I had to use these pieces, and it's nice because it does have this cool flat thing, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. So in this case, it's kind of a good thing because, as you can see, I can have it like slightly off the ground, and it looks like there's a little platform holding it, and there's some extra bars at the bottom holding all the other fences up. Yeah, so I really like how they came out, and you can essentially put them all together to make a panel like this. So if I just show you, you can just put them all together, kind of like that, but just make it neater. And then if you want a whole big old panel, you can just come in Control X and then overlay them, and boom, you have a wall of bars. So yeah, that's what I used for all of this on the outside. With the doors here, I got a little bit fancy with it, sunk some down and messed around with their format. Also here on the inside part, the indoor part, have these the bars all along here. Yeah, for some reason the inside is painted like a light green, whereas the outside's a bit more of a bluish white. I'm not sure why that is, but that's what the reference picture showed, and I went with that. Right, so next up I went with plaster pieces over here, mainly because I could take these plaster wall panels and stick them out if I wanted to, which I like to doing. If I could have used the concrete walls, and then, but to get the piece like this I would have to separate it from the grid, and I don't know, I don't really like working with multiple groups at a time, so just use plaster pieces. Yeah, as you can see in here, just painted brick because I didn't want the normal brick colors. Yeah, so we have these I think guillotine gates is what they're called, and to make this panel here I used these Australian road signs and just recolored them, so you can see like that, and just recolor them, and they have this nice like metallic texture, and it works really well. And I've obviously put some metal beams, Australian metal beams there, and then to make it look like there's a pulley system almost, I have this Planet Zoo bracket sunken in, and have these this rod, this thin metal rod. I would use the rope, but the rope doesn't come with a 1 meter variant, so I use the rod here, and just the bracket, or sorry, the gutter cap to top this off. And it goes all the way over here, leads into this nice little stone brick, sorry, this aquatic faux rock block, and it looks like a bit of a weight support, and each of the doors have this. Over here this one fell off. Of course have our angry archer just for scale, so I make sure everything's been built in scale. Yeah, I think in real life a lot of these fence gates are off, but I just, for simplicity's sake, I kept them all on here. And also I think they're a bit lower. For some reason, like if you want to get into this exhibit you have to crouch down, but here it's actually it's shown by Archer, it's at people height. That's just a trade-off I had to make with using these bar things. But anyway, I think one thing I should also mention is that most animals probably won't be able to fit in this gap. If you want, I'm choosing form over function. I want the recreation to look nice, so realistically lions would be able to fit in here, but in-game lions would not be able to fit in here. You can do some fiddling maybe with climbable objects to get them to go in there, but yeah. Yeah, so that's like the whole back of the area. This, I imagine this would have kept like maybe 2 prides of lions. I'm not too sure, I haven't been able to read, but how this thing worked. And I imagine since it's so elaborate, because like you have a whole outdoor area here, and this elaborate backstage thing, I think you would rotate them. So some days you have lions in these cages over here at the back, and then the other pride will be outside, and then the other day you'd rotate them. That makes sense to me, otherwise I don't see why it would be so complicated. I guess they do training at the back here. Like you can have the lions sit on the rocks and train them if you want. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, just we have some doors made out of planks. Pretty simple. Oh, and just one more thing I think I should show off real quick. I do need to fix the terrain on the sides and that, and then obviously do the whole outdoor area. Because as you can see here, the brick is sticking out here and the wall is like that. But if I wanted this texture of this plaster wall, sometimes what you can do is just rotate it. And yeah, now the brick has disappeared, and I can do that here as well. Yeah, so just keep that in mind when placing down walls and your floors. And just a bit of a trick, if you come over here, this is how I did all of these things. Since this is a narrow space to work in, I just put all the doors here and built them up on this side, and then when I wanted to put any of these pieces in, I just select it, select that, then come over here, rotate, and boom, I can put that in there. Fits right in. Yeah, so if you want more space to work with, just put the pieces out there, and then later you can just move them in here. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna slap a roof on this thing and get to work on the outdoor area. Okay, so I've got most of the outdoor yard structure done. I'll put a picture on screen now so you can kind of compare it, see that I have most of the shape in place. And yeah, mainly like almost entirely actually, what this thing uses is these bricks, these Indian bricks, which I'll show you how I created these structures in a little bit, but just quickly want to show off this whole structure. So you have a small round bit here, a large round bit, and then this bowl. So yeah, each of these I used the normal circle technique. So if you don't know that, I'll show you in a little bit, but I just want to show off here. For some reason this exhibit does have this weird fence in the front. I'm not sure why this was a design choice, but it is, so I included it here as well. But anyway, back to the sandstone bricks. I just used circles. So with these two edges, these two corners over here, I just used this like smallish circle, and this large curve is one big circle, which you can see kind of over here. And then I also made a bowl to make this bowl in the front. And to make that, there's a technique you use with the mud column to make circles. So it's quite a popular technique. I'm sure a lot of people know of it, but in case you don't, you just have this mud column pillar, and then you place your brick on it. You choose the distance you want, how big you want your circle. So this will be the radius from the column to the piece, and just set that. Then what you want to do is duplicate on the other side, and then you can just rotate it around to get a circle like that. So I think in this case you wouldn't really need the mud column. You can just straight up put the bricks apart and do a circle. But for something like this bowl, what I did was I created this I don't know what to call it, this curve, and then from there you duplicate that, put it I can align it. Boom. Then from there you can go and do the circle thing and create a bowl like that. So in this kind of scenario, it will be useful to create a mud column, and you can use this technique to create a whole bunch of stuff like domes and round buildings and whatnot. In this case, I used it to create a bunch of circles, and I made our line exhibit. Now the texture here is very repetitive with the bricks. I haven't tried rotating the angles a bit, but it still comes out like you can see this is not pretty. So what I'm gonna do is there's gonna be a lot of vines and stuff, foliage growing over this walls, so that will hide some of it. And the places where the foliage does not reach, I'll probably just insert some bricks. So kind of like that. Maybe just kind of change up the texture a little bit so it doesn't all look repetitive, monotonous. No, that's something we'll see in the next progress update, which will probably be the last progress update. So, do a final overview of the line exhibit, and of course the entire zoo. So I'll see you in that one. Okay, so the line exhibit is finally complete, and as well as pretty much everything else like that was in the zoo property is kind of complete, which we'll take a look at in a second after I finish show off the line exhibit. Anyway, I'll throw some pictures on screen now so you can kind of just compare the recreation to the thing IRL. Let's get some different angles. Let's go down here, we can see, also down here I added some font pieces to act as a ladder in this bowl, but check from this angle. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. So just a few things before I show off the final product, show off all the interior and that. Just want to say, so first of all, because the terrain was dipping, you can see I just put some mulch pieces down, put some eel grass on top of it, so it kind of hides the mulch, and that's how I dealt with the terrain dipping these edges. And another thing you've probably noticed now is that I have this 2-meter path. So in case you're wondering how I did that and don't know how to do 2 or 3-meter paths, because this path over here is 3 meters, and this path, what is this, 2 meters? That's 3 meters as well. In case you don't know how to make 2 or 3 meter long paths, you just take the Q tool and you either go to 2 meters or 3 meters, whatever you want, and you can just build up your path normally as you would just with the Q tool. Then as you can see, this one is like entirely elevated. It's slightly off the ground, And yeah, it gets even higher, and we have some railing, and it goes a bit low again. You can even have it slightly off the ground again. You just have to press U, and let's even it out. And the way you use this, I'm not sure who came up with this trick. I think Rudy Renkamel did a video on it first, so you can go check him out to see how to do it. But yeah, you just delete the entrance, and then you just replace it with a normal path. So like that, delete paths. And now it does get a bit tricky when doing the elevated path. I don't even remember how I actually did this the first time. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete that, delete this, and see, kind of works. And you can even get elevated paths that are like 2 meters long. Yeah, so that's how you get these two nice 2 and 3 meter long paths, which is what I put here. And of course, this entire boardwalk, this wooden walkway, is all path. I'm really hoping the guests would use it. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm super hopeful that we can get guests on here. But anyway, yeah, we've got this hedge separating the paths and a fence going all the way around. Then we have a ditch that protects the guests from the lions. It's weird, like gate thing with the bowl. Not sure why that was a feature, but they put that in, so I copied that. Yeah, there's a bunch of rocks, some sandbanks here. Let's have some different levels on the terrain, of course. Yeah, we can go around the back and see what else. Oh jeez, I forgot, I don't think these vines were here the last time. Yeah, so I put vines all along the wall like it is IRL. You've probably seen in the pictures. And IRL, there are 2 different types of vines, which is why this one I used crowberry to put on here. So these are all crowberry bushes all along this wall. And on this side I just use the normal ivy. If we zoom out, you can see the ivy kind of covers more of it here. Check that out in a bit. But yeah, IRL, they actually are, I believe it's 2 different types of vines. Like, I think this one's a bit more of a sturdy one, just judging by the pictures and how you see the vines in different seasonalities. This one seems to be year round, and this one seems to kind of like die every winter. I think that's going on, and that's what indicated to me that there were 2 different types of creepers growing all along this wall. So yeah, and these really help because as you remember earlier, the bricks here were very monotonous, so the vines kind of helped hide that. Also, to combat that, I put in some of these bricks here. So I put that there just to add some texture variation. Some of the bricks I pulled out a little bit just to add a bit more depth. Yeah, now it doesn't look as monotonous. It's not perfect like these walls over here, but still, it's so your eye doesn't just see like all repetition of bricks. And if we go down here at the bottom, if I can get, I think there's not really a good lighting that shines on this, but I put some bricks in, not as much as that. So this one is a bit more repetitive, but to be fair, you're not going to be looking at this wall most of the time, so I don't care that much. Most of your viewing is going to be looking this way, so yeah, and the light doesn't even shine on here. It's mostly shaded, so you can't really see it. But anyway, let's go check out the backside. As I said, vines coming all the way along this wall, creeping even along the cages at the top here. And yeah, we have a staircase over here. I'm not sure why, but there was a staircase IRL, so I put a staircase here as well. You can go inside, get one last view. I did open this gate because I'm going to put animals in here, so I figured just might as well leave the gate open now. And yeah, go inside. I realized I didn't put any pictures of how this thing looked inside, so I'll just throw on some pictures on screen now, so you can kind of compare what this thing looks like and judge my recreation by the actual pictures. Yeah, I think it came out really nice. I really like how this turned out. Yeah, that's the Groote Schuur lion exhibit. I really like this. I'm glad I got to recreate this. I didn't want to recreate it in Kleintijn Zoo because that's my historical South African zoo, and there wouldn't have really been a spot for this lion exhibit. In Kleintijn Zoo, I also want to recreate Pretoria Zoo's old lion exhibit, not this one. So yeah, this wouldn't have made sense in Kleintijn Zoo, but I'm glad I got the chance to recreate it. Also, just another thing on a side note, you might have noticed there's these plaster pieces all along the back here. There's some here, and there's some here, and I just put these at the heights. These are kind of like height markers, and so I base my terrain on these plaster pieces. So yeah, got my terrain kind of matched along the plaster pieces all along here, then just filled it all in, and that's how I kind of get the realistic height levels. I suppose I can delete those now. This is a pretty big group. Yeah, take a while to delete. But anyway, let's delete this one as well. Let's have a final tour of the whole zoo that I recreated. So I'm gonna start over at this end. This, as you can see, it's still not complete. Later on I'll go finish this up. There should be a power, I don't know, power thing. I forget the word now. Big old power box in that area, yeah. But I'll start over here. This is a recreation of a sign that actually exists in the park. I'll put a picture on screen now. Obviously this one is a bit more simplified, and I didn't have all the images that they use, so I just took stuff that I found on the internet. Most of these are US signs for these symbols, but yeah, I'm happy with how this sign turned out. Of course, we have the gate entering the Table Mountain National Park. Oh yeah, this is supposed to be a turnstile, but I couldn't get it to work, so I just thought, yeah, turnstile broken. And they just left the pole up. Because yeah, that's the gate to enter the park. Let's have another parking lot here. I think this is the actual parking lot you'll park in if you want to go see the zoo, because the parking lot over here is for the university. I think I mentioned that already. I don't know if I did. Yeah, then we have all these like little staves along the road which they put in. We have some of the rocks. Throwing some pictures on screen now from Google Street View, because I tried to recreate this thing perfectly. I don't know why, but I did. Got a tap, we got a barrel bin, we got a nice little tar pathway that the guests don't follow, because of course they're smart people, they're efficient people, so they just go straight across, and we have this nice dirt path over here as well. Yeah, and then, like I said, we'll just follow this path along till we get to the entrance of the zoo. Actually not, let's go along the road, because following that path will spoil some stuff. I did make some signs, I still need to put them in, so when I start making the zoo you'll probably see those in. Those are made with the font pieces, by the way. And yeah, walk along the road nicely, and then from here we reach the main parking lot. Like I said, I think currently this is used for the University of Cape Town as parking, but yeah, I'm gonna steal this parking lot back for the zoo. Yeah, we just got some cars in here. These are made by Cool Dog. These are all sedans in a pack, and I put them all in. I'm not gonna put too many cars because I believe they generate lag, but just have some here and there, just for some atmosphere. And I did use the in-game jeeps and the tuk-tuks. Now, the way I made this parking lot is that this is a bit of a tricky parking lot, because 1, it's curved, and 2, it's on a slope, and 3, it's made out of pathways. So I really can't tell you how I made this. I glitched the pathway quite a bit, as you can see here. So yeah, it's even lagging to do that. Yeah, to make this plaza, I did like, I can't even explain it. As you can see, in some spots it's like incomplete. Yeah, you have this open area, and I think there's another one. Yeah, over here. Probably put some cars on top of that to hide them. Yeah, all these planters, they're all mulch pieces, so these are all mulch pieces to hide the path underneath it. These, by the way, are ponytail palms sunken into the ground, so they look like agapanthus. Over here, this is mulch pieces as well, all hiding the path underneath it. This is a plaster piece to act as a path. I can't use an actual path because there's all brick underneath. And yeah, I put the eel grass in just to replicate grass since I can't have actual grass here. Yeah, I still like how this path turned out even though it's plaster. Walk along here. Yeah, and I really like how this parking lot came out well. Yeah, you can be. I wouldn't recommend building round parking lots on slopes, but in this case I was recreating it, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it, and it came out quite nice, I think. So no, yeah, that's the parking lot. Okay, now next up, this is that same tar pathway. It leads and connects up into here, so you can use this to enter the zoo for now. I will build a nice entrance later on. Yeah, first of all, we have the old waterfowl exhibit. So, if you're familiar with Kleintane Zoo, you might even recognize this. This is, I used the same design in Kleintane Zoo, only this one is a bit more realistically scaled, because it's based on the real thing. Yeah, I also took the same shelters from Kleintane Zoo, did modify them, but added these nice little things. There are supposed to be benches in here, but in real life the benches are like worn out, the plank's probably broken. And then these are the shelters for the waterfowl, but they're bricked off to stop people from sleeping in there. Of course, all the water's drained because there's no ducks in here anymore. Yeah, but based on the blueprints I used for Kleintane Zoo, the exhibit was initially divided into 3 sections, each of them with their own shelter area. Yeah, now the fence is completely gone and fountain's overgrown. Don't worry, when I make this thing an actual zoo again, we'll clean this up and get ducks back in here again. Yeah, I'll just put some pictures on screen for reference. And then behind the fountain, the waterfowl exhibit, we have this the staircase thing. Oh, look, Angry Archer's doing Joker stairs. I'm sorry, that's the first thing that popped into my head when I saw the archer at the top of the stairs. Yeah, we have these stairs that are made with these faux rock block. Aquatic faux rock block one, and they're recolorable, so you get these nice shades of red. We've got this little podium. I think this is a podium at least. In the middle, yeah, the stairs go up here. The pathway is all overgrown, of course. Walk along here. Yeah, I think I have some pictures of the staircase, so I can show you. And yeah, if we come along here, we have one of 2 abandoned, I believe, restroom buildings. Because it has 2 entrances, and inside, I think I saw a picture where it looked like it was tiled, so I imagine it's a bathroom of some sort. Although today it looks very ruined. I don't know if these will stay. I said one of 2 because there's one here and another one over here. And yeah, and just quickly before I forget, so this tree is I did make it. I kind of made it myself. I have to give props to Vigoga for this tree, as well as all the stone pines you've been seeing. Should have mentioned that earlier as well. So Vigoga made a dead baobab tree, and what I did is I just took some of the branches and made this dead tree and recolored it. So yeah, big thanks to him, because what would have taken me half an hour took me 5 minutes just to make this tree. And then all these amazing stone pines he made, because Table Mountain, this side of Table Mountain, is covered in stone pines. And yeah, I just used some of them that he made and planted them all along here. You're gonna see these a lot, so check the description for the workshop links to those. Yeah, these aloes, by the way, part of my custom foliage pack, I guess. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Yeah, like I was saying, second bathroom. And we come across here, we have a rondavel, which is a round African hut structure. Of course, this one is very, very ruined. It is based on the actual thing. I'll put a picture on screen. Recreation isn't that great. I tried to do what I could, but it's okay. It's probably like one of the worst structures that I recreated for this project. And then of course we come to the lion exhibit, which we've already shown off. So yeah, I'll just give an overview of the map. Yeah, and I'll show you the real thing in Google Images, Google Earth. Put the picture on screen now. Yeah. Right, so just one last thing before I forget. The main reason why I chose to build in the tropical map is because we have mountains like this, and yeah, I'm kind of pretending that this mountain in the back here is Table Mountain, so this would be Devil's Peak, or in this case it's a bit of a knob, not really a peak, and this main mountain would be Table Mountain. And I mean, because the way the tropical map works, we do have some bonus mountains, but yeah, I'm pretending that this is Table Mountain, and I can use maybe some forced perspective to pretend, like make us pretend that this is the mountain and this is the foothills of that mountain. But yeah, there's like the map is not big enough for me to recreate Table Mountain, and I don't think I have the willpower to recreate Table Mountain, even if it's just the parts you see in the zoo. So yeah, pretending that's Table Mountain. But you've probably seen them, and you can see I've put some lines in. This is a lion exhibit, so might as well see how the lions looked in there back in the day, before 1975-ish, when they still had lions in here. So I put 2 females and a male in this one. You can see they can utilize most of the space. Habitat. Yeah, they can roam around most of this. Male sleeping, females are running around here. I should move this hay bedding. Yeah, as I said before, they cannot fit in these gates, as shown by this female. She cannot go anywhere near that gate. I'm hoping some of the smaller animals might be able to fit in there, because when I turn this into an actual zoo, I'm gonna put other animals in here, not lions, because like I said, the lions don't work well. Go around the back here, you can see it especially in these holding pens. Put some lions in here. And like I had rocks in here and I had to remove them because otherwise they couldn't move. So if I take this female, flop her over here, you'll see in this exhibit where there is a rock. Yeah, barely any movement space. And you can see indoors as well, some movement space in that. And of course this doesn't really match most modern standards for lion exhibits, so I'm not going to put lines in here. But anyway, yeah, that's all the lion exhibit, as you can tell, and the rest of the Groote Schuur Zoo. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me get a nice view, and the Table Mountain in the background. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm not sure when, like I said, the main project that this recreation is going to lead into will come out. You might even get an episode of Kleintijn Zoo before then. But yeah, when either of those episodes come out, I'll see you then. Bye!